Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode. This is the second episode of audio platform like Spotify clone. So we are gonna be build this platform. It's a audio streaming platform. You can imagine similar to Spotify, but the layout it's kind of YouTube type, right? So you can see and this project it's a production level project. So actually if you want to understand all the things, so this project gonna help you, like so this is a second episode or second part of this series. So if you want to check out how actually this UI looks like, the introduction of this project and the file structure, so you can check out on description. So you're gonna find the series, right? So just I'm show you basic things. So this is the full stack project. Okay, we are building this project with help of a MERN Stack, right? And so actually you can do anything. If you click on this video, so you can listen song, right? So yeah, so now we are going to build this platform. So first we are going to see this page login. Okay, this is the login page, this is a sign up page, right? So we are going to build everything from scratch. And now let's back to our VS code. So we are going to create a project from scratch. So first let's create a backend file, backend, and then so cd. Now you can run npm init y. So now you create a backend server. Now the server is created. So now we are going to install all the package and dependency. So this is the package I'm going to install. So first npm install, then it's a bcrypt.js for hashing, then Cloudinary. So I'm gonna use to store image and audio file in Cloudinary. Right, then cookie parser, cors, crypto.env, express, and JSON wave token, and mongoose, malter, and node1. So I'm gonna use malter like to handle the uploading function, right? So you can use pretty much malter, or there is a other things express file upload. So it's your choice, but in this video I'm gonna go with malter. All right, so let's install it. The project file structure. So inside backend I'm gonna create model, then also controller, and then routes dot env, and then and but guys, so as I told you in my previous video, I explained all the file structure. So this project is gonna be a very big project. So I'm gonna separate each file and each code. Okay, so that's I told you, it's a very production level code, right? And that's then config config and config helper middleware middlewares, and then app.jx. What? Oh no, I think I have to inside app. Okay, now app.js and then index.js. So here I'm creating two files, app.js and index.js. So index.js, it's my entry point, and app.js I separate all the code, right? And I think now this project file structure is already ready to yeah. So I'm gonna create this structure. You can follow yours, right? But don't worry, guys. I'm gonna share the entire project on GitHub. Okay, so don't worry about the code. And as I said, we are going to create this project, but my approach is very simple. I'm gonna share all the code base, and I try to show you how backend and frontend link each other. And so yeah, so first of all, we have to work with schema, right? But I'm gonna paste the code because my typing is very slow. But to be honest, I'm gonna explain all the things line by line, but I'm not gonna type much more. So this is the index.js code. Okay, so I import .env from .env, and then I connect MongoDB, then app, then I call this .env, and then I connect MongoDB, and then this is the server. Okay, this is the server, and you can see there is nothing special. And yeah, each code I will explain, but now I'm just I'm creating this code. So this is the app.js file code. Okay, so I import express. So as I told you, this is my only this index.js my entry point, and this app.js is my I can handle all the integration, right? So I import express, and I import cookie parser. I import course, and then I call app.js. Then this is the middleware. Okay, and yeah, so nothing else, and this is the route. So I have to create this route, and yeah, so this is the app.js code, and now I'm gonna create the models. I'm gonna create the models. So first things first, uh, users dot model dot js. So you can see this is a user.model.js file. So inside it I just paste user schema. Okay, so but before explaining this code, I want to show the UI, so you can relate what I'm trying to do. So this is the UI. Okay, and by taking all the user information, you can sign up. So first I'm going to take full name, username, email, password, gender, and then profile picture. But I'm not going to implement this subscribe to premium plan, then sign up, right? So this way you can sign up. So that is the things I'm just and extract the user information. So this is a username, right? So it's a Mongoose schema. So this is a username, and type, which means string, and then h2, unique h2, and trim h2, and minimum length 3. So user can put their username minimum 3 character, and then name also type is string, and then required yes. And I also handle inside a schema, if there is no name is you know providing from front end, so I can show the error. So because the name is must, right? And then trim true, and then minimum length 3 character, and maximum length a 30 character. So in between 3 and 30 you have to put your name. Then email type is string, required true, trim true, unique true, right? So if somebody wants to create other same email, so I can verify through backend. So that's why I create that message, and then validate. So all the character you can validate. Okay, so let's say you need .com, you need at the rate. So this validator is all about, so I can check, right? So you can search on ChatGPT or any tools, yeah. So this is the code, nothing else. And then message, please enter the valid email. Then password, type string, required to minimum length 6. So at minimum you have to put 6 password. And then profile image, type string, and default just string, yeah, so just default, yeah, because yeah, uh, I just put default, yeah, double quote, right? And then gender, type string, and then save audios. So inside save audios, so I want to track if user save any any video audios, so I can track, right? So I'll show you what I try to mean by that. No. So this is a library. Okay, so now you can see like audios and save audios. So user save all the video or audio. So I'll show you how. So this is a like button and save button. Okay, so if you save, then I can track, and I can I can show you, so you can understand what type of video you already save, and what type of video you like. So that's why here, that's why I here um, that's why I here track user action, right? So save audio, so it should be array, because because it should be multiple documents. So that's why we need array, right? And also I add time. So if you want to track time, so you can. So I did, and then save audios, and similarly like audios. So if you like or any audios, so you can also track. And type is some mongoose schema, right? So it's type like reference, so you can refer audio. So right now there is no audio schema, but we are going to make it, right? So you can you can refer which audio or which document you want to track, right? Because mongoose MongoDB, it's not a SQL database, so it's NoSQL NoSQL, right? So this way Mongo track or refers, right? And yeah, then like audios, so it's a audio ID. So similarly, inside inside array, right? So audio, and similarly timestamp, and then is admin, so which means only admin can upload audios, but any other user can use platform, but I'm gonna let them to use, but they can't do anything. um yeah, so you can do a lot of things, but this project is all about, like, it's a practice based project. But if you want to create like your own production level project, so you can add a lot of things. But don't worry, I'll explain to you, like, how you can do all the different stuff. So this is the user schema, and this way you can define the models, right? And then you can export. So this is the user schema, right? This is the user schema, and now we have to handle a lot of things, because here you already connect MongoDB. So inside configure, okay, config, we want to handle Cloudinary, MongoDB, and Malta. So yeah, now I'm creating a Cloudinary file, and I paste my code. So this is the Cloudinary setup, right? Very simple. Now I'm gonna also create MongoDB, so this is a MongoDB code. I import mongoose, I import .env, and yeah, then I call the connectivity with help of async, and then yeah, so when I use async, so here I'm using try block, so it's a wait, and I connect process.env mongo. So this I connect mongo with help of .env, right? That's why I import .env, and then if there is something wrong, I can catch console log, so MongoDB connection error. And I think this is the process. If the code is, if there is a failure, so this logic helps particularly production level, so you can understand where is the problem. So if there is a problem running in mongoose, so you can see the you can see the error. So that's why, right? And second, I'm gonna use the multi storage. Now I'm creating multi storage file, and so this code is very simple, okay, and just I just copy from Malta, okay, and even if you don't understand it, just search on ChatGPT and explain. But I'll explain you. So I import Malta, and then I import path, I import file URL, okay, and if you, because I'm using like model ES, so that's why. And then I import file system, and then so as I use uh, modular, like I'm using I'm using new version, like it's called modular ES. That's why as a default file and direct name we have to manually set up. So that's why. And yeah, file name and you know, yeah, directory name, like, and then yeah, so I just called file URL path this and then like I import meta URL, and then and also and this code makes sure the 10 folder exists, right? So temporary you can store your file on your uh, project. After uploading, the file path automatically will be deleted or removed, and then I just manage the file name. Okay, so it makes sure if there is a duplicate file name, so this code ensure to create a unique file name, and this is a storage. So it's a destination. Okay, so I just pass 3 parameter like request, file, and callback. Right, so CV, it's a short form callback, and then I create a variable name like name, and then I use to parse the original name, right? And then also I try to confirm it's exist or not, and then I also create a date time. So it makes sense to create a unique file, right? And then I call file name. So this is the multi storage code setup. If you want to understand, so you can get help from ChatGPT or any other tools. Just I want you to do that by yourself. The more you do, the more fundamental understanding you can get, right? So just do all the things by yourself. So that's why you can understand more. So this is the config setup. So now we are going to create a helper, because we will use like ordinary, so we can separate code, because we are going to use same code in different file. So it helps to use yeah, so it make reusable. Okay, because like when you create a production level code base, so you have to think all the angles, right? As I told you, this project is very production level project. So yeah, so inside helper I'm creating upload to cloud file, upload to cloud. So yeah, I import file system, I import path, I import cloudinary. So this is I import from config. You can see here cloudinary. So yeah, I import, and then I just create a route like upload cloudinary. Okay, so this is a you know like asynchronous function. So this is the file path and option. So this is the parameter. Okay, file path means where you want to upload. So as I told you, I already handle these things here, storage. So yeah, and optional means I want to extract data from cloudinary. Right, don't worry, you can see very soon how. and and this yes, and I just I use lowercase. So I want to make it consistent all the file name, and then I just I I just validate the file type. It may be MP3, it may be WAV, AAC, MP4, right? And resource type is a video. Why? Because in Cloudinary, audio, video, it's the same things, and also others with an image. So monitor automatically understand, and this understand. Let's say yeah, Cloudinary automatically detect if you put image. So this block of code will run, or if you upload anything. So yeah, video or audio. And then I just called this result, right? So yeah, cloudinary.uploader. and this is the methods, and then yeah, file path and option. So file path and option. হ্যাঁ থার্ড আমি এখন কাজ করছি extraordinary. So I just said this is the cloudinary. So here I just import, and this is the upload file path and option, and then I return a result. And then if this code is not working, there is any error, so on this block I can catch. And then finally, so if two things is not happen, this block must be happened. That's why. And also this code means after uploading image or video, this file system gonna unlink or remove the file from code base, from this file structure, and then I import. So I think it makes sense, right? So I think our code is already ready. Okay, so we already set up, and yeah, and helper we create models and middleware. Now we are going to create middleware. So now I'm creating inside middlewares folder. It is login file. It is login. Make sure if you want to allow user to do anything, but if you don't want to, like, if you do not allow user to do any certain amount of tasks, so you have to create middleware. I call it say is login. Okay, so if user are not login, let's say user can't watch video or live or maybe other things, right? That's why. So yeah, like you can see a lot of platform, not big platform. If you see the any website, so they can allow you to watch their video, but they cannot allow you to upload or maybe subscribe, or maybe you can't do any action, but you can watch. Okay, so how they created, because of they created a lot of middleware. So each login is one of them, right? I think it makes sense. So now I import JW token, all right, and then I create a function again, and I passed three parameter, request, response, and next, and this next is passed down. Okay, if user is login, then that route or that code will be allowed to do other certain of tasks. That is middleware. So middleware means they can check user has that type of authority or permission or not, right? So I use try and block. So I just extract token from request cookies. So I extract these things from sign up. Okay, but I'll show you. Okay, and also back to this code, and then I explain how it's linked each other, and then I check if it's not token. If there is no token, then I just return a response 401, which means it's a bad, right? No, there is no token, not login and token missing. Or if there is a token, then I run this block of code. So by this block, I verify token, and then I verify also secret key. So once you sign up or log in, so that code create a secret. That's why I'm using this token. Okay, and then I just decode the user ID. Okay, and then I also check if token verification failed, then I show the message invalid or expired token, and then after that I can assign the decode user in request.user. and then I pass next. Or by chance, if there is a error or failure, I can show this what middleware error, and then I just return a 500 code internal server error, right? This is a login middleware, and yeah, this is the login middleware. I think we already covered all the setup. We create Cloudinary, MongoDB, Malter. Yeah, so after creating all this, then we can create a controller, right? We create models, and now right now we don't have routes, but very soon we are going to create routes and controller. And inside this .env file, I'm gonna paste some things. So yeah, in .env I can paste my code. Okay, I can blur it, and yeah, so you can bring MongoDB all the things, and let me Cloudinary and GW secret. Okay, and yeah, so yeah, this way you can integrate MongoDB and Cloudinary. It's very simple. You can visit their website and you can do by yourself, or even you can ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT can help you. Right. So yeah. So first, it should be a lot of controllers, so I can separate. So now I'm creating user. So in this folder, I can handle all the user related controller. Inside uh, user, I can create users. Inside user, there is register dot controller. Okay. So guys, I'm gonna paste it. So now, just you are now you are thinking, man, why you should paste? Because as I told you, I'm not good at fast typer. Okay, but yeah, I can explain. I can explain to you because now code is you can get any code from ChatGPT or anything. But the main thing is understanding the fundamental thing. That is the main part. Right now, you can get a bunch of code from ChatGPT or other things. But if you understand how actually it's work and how it link frontend and backend, how frontend and backend works together, right? Then that makes sense. And if you see the UI, I think, oh my God, man, that's my channel is all about. I want to give you a lot of project because that's why I'm not typing it. So I import. Let me collapse. So I import users from this folder, like user schema. Okay, and then bycrypt, yes, bycrypt for a hash the password, and GW token, like to verify the token, and then upload to Cloudinary. Okay, so from helper folder, because what, as I told you, I'm going to use multiple files, so that's why. First is sign up controller. So as I've already shown you the UI. Okay, so from UI I extract username, okay, name, email, password, gender from request body. So I'm using try and block. So if any error, so I can catch by using catch block, and then I check. Then I check if user already exists. If so, this is a variable name. So I check find one var email and user. This is the MongoDB var operator. So if email exists or username exists, okay, so I can show you the error message. Hi. If user exists, then I can return 400, and then I message this. This is the ternary operator. I think you guys know how to use it. If email is registered, then I show you email, or if not email, then user, then I show you either already taken, right? Because as I told you, so you can verify email with only, but I just will mix your email and username, because email should be different, but username should be same. So I don't want to do that to anybody, right? That's why. And then I just has the password. So this is a 10 round salt. Okay, so this is a variable, and I use await because it takes time. And then bcrypt dot gen salt, it's a method, and I pass it 10 round. So it's make very strong password. And then I also compare, and yeah, so sorry, then I has the password with 10 round salt. So yeah, and then and here I handle profile image. So I initialize the profile image as a empty string, and then I just make sure I extract the file request dot from file. Okay, if this file exists, if the file exists, then this block of code will run. So I just store, I assign all the things into result. So I use await upload to terminal. Okay, so this is the path. You can just follow the path. So as I told you, here I pass the path. So that's why I use path. And then yeah, folder. So this is the folder name, and then profile image. Then I assign, so as I told you, so you can see I just initialize as a empty string. Now I just assign the entire result into that. So a result.sql.url. So this is the Cloudinary you know resource. So here you can get that particular image or particular audio type or audio, right? So that's why sql.url. So you can see the URL. And now after doing this, I'm just creating user document. Okay, so so it's a object instance. Okay, which means I'm creating documents. So if you know about MongoDB, so MongoDB is all about documents, and yeah, so inside collection we have multiple documents. That is I'm creating document. Okay, so new user, and then I call users because this user, right? This user, and then yeah, then I username, name, email, password. So I just put that has password, and then gender, profile image. And now I save this document inside MongoDB. So this is the MongoDB method save, and then I generate GW token. So you can generate through login, but I like to generate through sign up. So that's why token. Okay, then GW and sign user. So inside, so I just assign uh, new user ID inside user ID, and then process.env, and then this ID will valid up to 7 days. Okay, and now I'm gonna explain to you middleware. So this way I just assign, I just I just bring user ID. I say new user dot underscore ID, and then I assign to user ID. But here you can see, as I told you, I can explain to you here. So yeah, this way. So now if you use uh, this user ID for any file, so you will use requisite user dot user ID. Requisite user, then you have to put user ID. And nobody you can see very soon, and yeah, and then you just provide response to cookies and token. This token is this token. You can see this token. Yeah, and then HTTP only true because you cannot access this URL by JavaScript. That's why HTTP only. And then secure. yeah, so this secure makes your production level, right? And then same side, this it's a string because there is a attack, so people cannot attack, and yeah, and then also this cookies will be 7 days, yeah, it should be valid 7 days, up to 7 days. Then a response success true, message account created successfully, and then inside user document, I just I want to see in front end this way. So ID, new user ID, username, new user dot username. Now, as you handle here, so now you have to access new user. That's why. Now you can handle new user ID, new user username, new user email, and new user profile image. You assign here, and then this is the catch. So if and then yeah, this is the catch block. If there is any error, so by doing this you can handle. So yeah, you can console, and if there is error, so you can return response like 500. So like it's an internal error. This is the sign up controller. I think guys it makes sense, right? So now I'm gonna explain to you login controller. Okay, so this is the export, this is the const, and this is the login, and this is the async function. So here I just pass a request and a response. Make sure this sequence you should follow, otherwise it's not gonna work. You have to pass request then response. So similarly, I was also extract email and password from request.body, and then I find user by email. If email is not exist, then I return invalid email or password. Right. So that is the 401 status, and then I verify the password. So yeah, I have it bcrypt.compare. This is the method inside bcrypt, and this is the password from this password. So I'm just comparing this password, user password same. If it is, then I can generate all the things. Otherwise, if this password and the file password are the database password, because this password from I extract from user and user password from database. That is compare is all about. So I'm just comparing. If it's not, then I just check. If password is not same, then I return a response. Invalid your password, right? And then, as I told you, you can generate token by like in login or in sign up. But I would like to both because you can see a lot of use case. Yeah, so yeah, same thing. But there is other things also. I've also assigned I extract ID, user ID, and then also admin. So as I told you, admin can only upload. So I've also doing this. Don't worry, I'm gonna create very soon this admin middlewares. Okay, so yeah, that's why also I also assign user dot admin. If it's true, then yeah, so yeah, I assign it, and then yeah, similar code. It's a cookie and similar code, and also I pass. Yeah, I think sign up and login is very similar. Okay, but you can get a lot of things, but in login you only can get two things, email and password. And I mentioned all the things. I think yeah, you can pass response status and ID, username, email, and tag block. Now the logout. So I think logout is very simple. You have to clear the cookies from your browser. So this code is all about. I just access response and clear cookies through token. And yeah, if you click on it, your browser cookie will be removed or delete. And then yeah, I respond success message. And yeah, Also, like you can also handle one front end without this routes controller. So I think guys, this is C is all about. Right, it's login controller and sign up controller. So I'm just gonna save it. So yeah, now I'm gonna create a authenticate controller. So now I'm creating inside users what controller. So I'm just gonna paste it. So I import user, and then this is the get authenticate user. Why is that? Because this controller it helps uh, you can track user. If user is not authenticate, you cannot see them. You cannot show them the thing, right? You can't do anything. That's why it's very important. And yeah, so it's a async asynchronous function. So I just pass out the parameter request to response, and then I use try block. Then it's the user ID. As I told you guys, you can access is login. So yeah, request.user.user ID. As I told you here, yeah. So yeah, this is the request user, and you can yeah, as I told you here. Here. So user ID. Now you can see right. Now you can see request.user. I use chain operator, so it makes you if there is no user ID that the code on the code uh, will not be crashed. That's why, and it's a user ID, right? And yeah, so you are just assign the user ID. Alright, so you just extract request body user ID if if there is a user, and this controller is a help. So here you handle the login users and you handle the authenticated user. If there is a authenticated user, then you can track them. If there is a no user ID, which means they are not login user, they are not logged in user. That means they are not authenticated. So you can show them a response 401 user not authenticated. And then if they have a user ID, then this code will be run. So here I just fetch all the user info from database. So I use user.find by ID. So I find the user ID, what they have inside the document. So as I told you, I create user document, right? So that is the user document. So there is a lot of data. So whatever data I want to import or populate to this authenticated users, right? Because I'm just saying it just to show you the main things you can understand, you can relate now. So guys, now it's a profile. Okay, this is a you can see this profile because I use that what login controller, so here I import, populate a username, all the things. And also library, I just export these things. User save this document, so that's why I show them, right? So that's why now you can see here I populate so I'm not populating password because it's very sensitive information, so that's why. And then a populate, this is the method from MongoDB. And then path save dot is dot audio ID, which means this is the path save dot audio. So I'm just yeah, that's why save dot audio ID, and then select what I want to show, title, thumbnail, right? Here it, here you go, title, thumbnail. You can see, right? title thumbnail, right? And then I also populate likes video, also title thumbnail, author, profile image, right? Yeah. And then if user did not exist, this one, let's say there is no user document, so I can message, but the message you will find, right? This is the 404 response. And if user exists, then I can provide a success message, like startup, like it's a okay message. So yeah, success true and user. So you can access the user document in frontend, and then this is a catch block. I mentioned you. I can console log this authentic user if there is a error during executing this authentic user, they can see. So this is the authenticate uh, users controller, right? Yeah. Now I think my controller is finished. Now I'm gonna create routes. So I create route file inside routes. Okay, this route. So here I import express Malta storage. This storage from Malta storage, and then I import sign up, login, logout from this register controller. I also get authenticate user from what controller, and then I import this login because in routes, okay, I have to integrate all my code because this is the I handle controller, all the file structure, because this route is very important. Why is that? Well, why is that, man? Because you can see route production, right? This is the route, right? So this is the local host, and this is the local host, but this library, it's a home, it's a explore. You can see it's a library, it's a profile, right? And if you click on it, if you upload content, so you can see upload content. This is the route, right? That's why I have to handle here very. So yeah, and then export the route from export router. So yeah, it's a method inside in express dot, yeah, and then it's a upload multer. So I handle multer, so multer, and then I just yeah, inside multer there is object storage limits. So I use 10 MB highest people can upload 10 MB image. You can increase whatever you want, and then so the this is the first route for sign up. So this is the route, okay, but let me show you inside the app. My base route is API / API dot users, and then after that inside this users I'm handling this. After that it should be like APIs / user / sign up. Alright, so you can track what route is I'm just tracking or I'm talking about. Then upload dot single profile image because I'm just uploading single image, so that's why Malta handle this way, and then sign up. This is the control, right? And then yeah, this is the, so it's a post route because I'm just extracting just only data. And then it's also post. There are four types REST API or REST like post, put, delete, get. Post means you can handle or you can send the data, only data, and get means you can access. Put means you can modify, if you can override on it. Then also if delete, you delete, right? So this is the post and this is the login, same, yeah, and then it's a authenticate users. So here I'm just checking middleware, it is logged in. If there is because as I told you, if listen carefully, okay, if user is not logging, they cannot this route cannot execute this controller. So this route makes sure there is a user, there is a login user. Then this controller will execute will run. Otherwise, you can see error, right? And also in logout, because without login, how how would you log yourself, log out yourself, right? That's why this two route makes you must be a login user. That's why this is the middleware. Yeah. So guys, I think we cover everything pretty much backend. Now we are going to use frontend, right? So yeah, now I'm going to use again the app.js. So this is the route. I import these users from this route files, routers user.routes, and then I call it app.js. I create a server, and then it's a middleware because it's a core, it's a course, right? So it's a local host. And yeah, otherwise the question how you can understand backend and frontend. That's why course is there. And yeah, this is the route app.us use is the method, and then API users, and then the route is the router. So say is the router, right? So this API or this route I can handle on backend on sorry frontend. Now I'm gonna create the frontend file or folder extractor. So yeah, now I think backend code is already complete. Now I'm gonna create where is the npm create feed at least I'm using feed. So yeah, client. And then React JavaScript now. And cd client install. Okay, all right. Project is created. Now I should run npm run date. Okay. I think guys I forget about like to run the back and forth. Yeah, man, like yeah. Okay, don't worry. I'll run you. So it's one. Yeah, project is running, man. The port is 5174. All right, pretty cool, right? Now I'm gonna use the Tailwind CSS, so I have to install all the things. So I'm gonna create a terminal. Now let's see where is the full name. the Tailwind website. You can check it out, man. You can check it out. I'm gonna import this Tailwind CSS code. Tailwind. Okay, so I'm gonna install also this portion code. Yes. Install. Now I have to paste paste this code inside git.config. I save it, and I have to also let's see what I should import. Yeah, this process inside CSS. Inside source folder, there is a multiple folder like app.css. It's not a useful index.css. I have to replace the code. Yes, and then I paste here. So now you are ready to use Tailwind CSS. Let's check it out. App.js. So I just remove all the code. Let's see. RFCE. This is a shortcut. If you use, then you can see that template already created. Let's see. Yes. BE background red. Yes, Tailwind working, man. Tailwind working. No, no. I also where is the React? I have to create paste here something. React here is fine. There you go, man. And now see, you can see Tailwind 6 is working. Right. So now I have to install a lot of other project themes, all the dependency. Now I'm just installing. You can see Redux Toolkit. So I'm using Redux Toolkit to manage state. Then Axios, Framer Motion, Lodas, React Icons, React Loading Skeleton. Yeah, you can see now every platform you can see everybody use Skeleton, and then React Redux, React Router DOM, React Slick, React Toastify, Slick Carousel, and Sweeper. So I have to create component, and then pages, component pages. What else? And features, and then store for so inside component folder, I'm gonna create all the reusable code, and in features I'm also handle the page codes. Okay, because inside page I just integrate the features code. So right, and so I integrate the features, like all the code inside features. So I'm just separate as small as I can. It's a big project, so you have to maintain, and it will be very difficult. It grows in future. That's why I told you I'm just providing all the best practices so that you can understand what's going on in real project or in industry. So yeah, and stories where I handle Redux Toolkit and REST API, like all the endpoint. All right. So I think it's ready to create something, right? So now I should create some folders inside file, create home. Sorry, page inside page and create home, and then also users, uh, user, sorry, register user, register users. So inside register users, I create two files like login.js and signup.js, right? And okay, I think now it's okay. Now inside restore folder, I create first restore.js and user API. Hold on, user API, and slice. I have to create folder first. User API and slice. Slice, right? And inside, okay, so I move user API. So inside user API, I have to paste this code. So I import Axios, so you can use other things, but here is very simple. Axios, and this is the base URL. You can see this is a localhost 4004, and yeah, where is the backend, man? Where is the backend? This is the UI, man. It's a real code base. So yes, heritage 400. So I just handle it here. So localhost 4004 API users, right? So this is the base URL, and then Ponch API, then Axios create base URL, and yeah, so I just pass base URL then with credentials and true. So actually, it's very easy because I'm not gonna use multiple things in different. So that's why I separate these things, and it makes sense, right? And this is the sign up uh, endpoint. So yeah, like it's a and yeah, it's a function sign up. Yeah, so here I can manage form data, right? So this data I get from slice and API.post. So API means this API, okay, and post means I'm just sending request. I'm sending a request with on this API. Okay, sign up. So sign up means here. This sign up. API users, and then as I told you that on the front on the controller you can see sorry around this URL, right? So this is the base URL and sign up with that, right? And then headers. So multi-part form data. So here I use image. This can handle both. That's why I provide the headers. And similarly login. So here you cannot see the multi-part form data because here I'm not providing image, just only text. That's why, yeah. And post API loading and data. This form data and data I can get from slice, and then fetch current users. So this is the authenticate user. You can see here this route, this endpoint, right? So yeah, API.get, and yeah, this is the Redux Toolkit, guys. So I just handle all the things, but in slice, yeah. Actually, now I think you can see both things in the same file, but I just separate. So now I'm gonna create slice. So user slice dot. Hold on, I think I should. I think I paste it in user API in slice. Alright, now it's okay. So user slice. So I'm just paste my code. And so create slice and create async. This is the two method from Redux Toolkit, and I import everything from user API. So this asterisk implies I can import everything from this file. That's why. And yeah, this is the thunk, right? This is the thunk. So I'm gonna create a reducer, but now first I explain the thunk, because here you can see the form data. This form data comes from the login file and the sign up file, and this is the thumb. Okay, so this is the thumb users, and create a signed thumb, and then I pass the object, entire object. Then inside here you can see this name for just debugging in Redux Toolkit, software, nothing else. You can debug, and this is the form data. This form data comes from sorry. This form data comes from here, and this form data comes from any React component. And yeah, by this reject with value, I'm just checking the error, and then I pass out another object, it's call it's a line. So I use try block. So inside this block, I just get the response. So wait API dot sign up users. This is the API, and then I call form data. Right. So if I send the request, okay, send the request here. I send the request here. I send the request here, and if the response is good, then I can assign here. That is right, and then I return this response, this data. Data is a method inside response in Node.js. This user is, let me show you, man. Let me show you what I'm saying. Where is the controller, man? Where is the controller? This user, you can see these users I'm just assigned here. So this response, and data inside the response, it's a method. this user is this user. Alright, so I'm just tracking it. I'm just assigning it, and then I return a response. If this block is not working, or if there is any error, then this block will work. This is the thunk. This is the sign up thunk. So how this works? If you don't know, let me explain to you very easily. Because first, I'm just providing. I'm just request with help of this endpoint, right? Which means this form data comes from maybe sign up, so sign up things. I'll explain to you, but let me explain you a little bit. So first, I'm just sending a data. I'm just request the backend with help of this route. So I already create on the backend, and now what I do, I just request this sign up. Okay, with all the data I sent with headers, this headers, all the data, and then they told you that I'm managing the state with help of Redux Toolkit, so that's all. Then after that, I use these things. How? If the response is correct, then I get a sorry. If the request is valid, so I send here, and then I send this request on the back end. This code will be run. This code will be run. Then if all the parameter or all the body is valid, all the code, then this code responds this user. Okay. Or if all the things is working good, then here I can access response, right? So I return the response data. All right. So after that, this response I can handle on the users. All right. Hold on for a second. Let me explain the login user. Then I can create read user. Similarly, there is no different. Just create async thunk, then user, login user, then data. Similarly, this data comes from the user API, and then then also I just handle. But here I handle different things. That is, I assign responsible data to users. Okay, all right, and then token. So as I told you, we are valid tokens from cookies. If token is exist, then you are valid. If token is not, the browser the browser um, make you log in, log out. So you will be no longer user anymore. So you have to re-log in again, right? All right. I think you get it, right? This is login user. This is the login user thunk. Similarly, this is the fetch current users, which means current user. Let's say if you're using your own platform, like your account, that means your current user. So as I mentioned, I'm trying understand that if user is login, then I can handle with help of is login middlewares and authenticate uh, controller. So this is the authenticate controller. Get authenticate users. You get it right. Similarly, I'm not getting any data from frontend, so that's why it's empty. Like it's a double underscore, because you have to pass something, right? So there is a structure in Redux Toolkit, and I also console log, and then response data to the users. So I'm accessing, you can see, man, you can see same things. You are accessing these users here. If the response is correct, if the response is okay, then you can return response data dot users, right? So this is the three thunk, and now I'm going to create a reducer. So now I'm pasting my code. the user slice. Okay, this is the user. Name is what user, and then I initially state current user null. Okay, token null, loading false, profile loading false, update user loading false, loading login false, and then error null. This is the reducer. Clear error. st.error null. So null means, as you know, the database. So once you create something, there is nothing. But after loading all the data, there will be some data. Okay, inside that. So that's why I'm using null. Then extra reducer. Why is that? Why not reducer? So as I told you, I'm just creating a separate code. So that's why we are using reducer, because we are using thunk. If you use thunk, we have to use extra reducer. If you don't use thunk, then you can handle inside the reducer, right? This is a builder. It's a built-in method. Sign up, and this reducer, there are three things inside, extra reducer. So you can handle the thunks or create thunks, right? Pending, fulfill, and reject. So when you get the data, let's say the response is okay. The response is okay. This data here, first the loading will be true and the error will be null. That means the pending. Second is fulfilled. If the sign up is fulfilled, then you can assign all the data inside ht.current user here. ht.current user, right? So, and you are accessing the payload, because you already assigned this way response dot data users. If you don't use users, so here you should use, you cannot use action dot payload. So already use users, so that's why you don't need to use user here. But let's say if you're using only response data, so you should use here action dot payload dot user. Alright, so I handled already inside thunk. Then you assigned ht.current user, and then you should yeah, then you make it false. If it's rejected, that means the response is not valid or there is error. So you can handle here ht.loading false, and all the error you can assign ht.error here. So error is null, right? This is the sign up, and this is the login. Same thing. If login is true, if login is the response is okay, then true, then null, and then here accent payload users. Only you can manage users. Let me show you, man. Where is the login? Here. How is that? Because I also assigned this user here. That's why. If you're not using here, so it no longer need this way. But I explicitly use user, so that's why I have to use here user. And then also token, same thing, and then loading false, and then reject error and false. Then what check? Fetch current users. So loading is true, error none. And then if the fetch current user is fulfilled, that means it's okay. So we have to assign action to payload. Similarly, you can see here, man. So I use this structure. That's why I only action payload. Action payload. Assign issue.current user. And then I also console log. And then fetch current issue.error. Right. And this is the logout, and right now, explain to later. And this is a clear error. So this is the reducer, right? And yeah, and I export this reducer and also export default user select. So this is the thing, and this is the REST API. So I handle all the things. Right. Now I have to use Redux store. There is this is the store. Why we are using store? If you don't know how Redux store works, I think you should watch videos. But here I explain to you very simple. This is the configure store, okay, and this is the reducer, extra reducer from slice, okay, and then I create a store, the configure store, and then this reducer and its object. This user reducer, then I assign like user, and then I have to handle it on vendor checks. You can see here I'm not handling any uh, store, but now I'm gonna handle it. So you can see provider. So you have to use provider. This is the provider from Redux store. You can see, and this is the store from this store file. Okay, so we have to wrap up your entire code. So here is app.js. Okay, so inside provider you have to wrap up app, and then you have to pass the store. This is store. This is store, right. This is store. And it's yeah. So I think my code is ready. My code is frontend code is totally ready. I set up the code, the registered. Now I should create the sign up. All right. Now I create sign up page. So this is the sign up code. Okay. So guys, I already paste it because as I told you, my typing is very slow, so I don't want to waste any time. So I just mention you and you can get the code. Okay. So we have no question. Okay. So before explaining all the code, I want to show again my UI. So let me sign up. Okay. What is what? So we are going to achieve this sign up page, this UI. Okay. Even you can create a different UI. I just make it because it's a very responsive. I don't know if it's working or not. So this is the mobile version. This is the mobile version, UI. Right. So yeah, that's why yeah I can use this one. Okay, I think you get it. Now we are going to achieve this UI. So this is the use state. Okay, and this is the lane. This is the use navigate, import, use dispatch, and use selector. So as I told you, I think you know use dispatch and use selector because these two things, use dispatch and use selector. Use selector, read the storage state, right? And this dispatch is help to this help the function, the action, right? So and it's a sign of user. So I import from a slice, and this is the toastify, and this is the framer motion. So for animation or user notification, right? This is the entire function, and this is the know another what I say props for reusable content. So I pass nothing inside, and then I assign the dispatch, and then navigate the use dispatch and use navigate. I call it, and then this is is the Redux store management. So I access the use selector, then user. This user is where is the this user. Make sure this name and this name will be same. Otherwise, this code is not gonna work. So make sure this users is this user is same and loading, right? Why is that? Because a lot of loading is out there. That's why I just separately mentioned here. This loading is this loading. Yeah. Okay. I should let's see because I just make some mistake of loading and error. Yeah. Then it's the use state. So I'm using to track the user info with help of use state. Name. Then I assign the empty string, username, email, password, gender, profile image, and its premium. So I should remove these things because I'm not going to use anymore. Right. So yeah, this is the use state, and then I also track the user. Okay, set preview and preview because here you can see. I know it's error. Hold on for a second. Okay, right. So preview means you can see the profile picture. That's why. An error and set error. I'm just tracking. And then client side validation. The form validation. It is very simple, man. Inside this valid form, I just first new errors I assign as a as empty string as empty uh, object, and then if form date name is string, full name is required, which means if the full name is not there, that means this code will be work. And then same things, right? You can understand it, right? The same for name, the same for users, the same for email, and here is match. That means we are going to make sure the symbol, right? This is called Redux, and then the same for password, at least 6. So as I told you, I also handle on backend, but before sending the data, I can handle also on frontend because let's say user put some things and then when I apply or submit, then I can get feedback. No, but before submitting, I want to show, hey, you are doing something wrong. Make sure you put the same right things, right? So that is a valid form, okay? And then handle change. That means the user what they put inside the input. So I'm just tracking it, okay? So that's called handle change. Yeah, it should be from file, text, whatever it is. So yeah, so I'm just extract either targets, which means if I put any value, let me from sign. So yeah, either target means if I that means it's what this is the either target. If type is equal to file, so triple is equal to means it's called it's equal to. So if it is, then this file work. Then this block of code is work. So inside if there is another condition. So this is called nested condition. Okay, so why? Because I want to extract files URL. Okay, so first 0 means it's an array, so first array I can extract files from file, right? If file and file size greater than 5 MB, then I can show this message image size must be less than 5 MB, right? How? Through post error, post notification, right? So yeah, then if it's correct, and then I can access what. If less than 5, then this return this, and then this code will run set from data. So I think guys you know how use it work. Don't know, let me explain again. So from data, set from data. So this set from data, it's help this from data. So it's a provider, I can say this from data, and I pass in prev as a parameter, and then yeah, it's a split operator. So I access the previous all the data, and then profile image, then I just assign file in profile image, because I already this is a profile image, but this file is this file, which means I extract here. That's why I just assign the correct format, and then set preview. Also, if file is true, then create object a temporary URL. If not, then not. Alright, this is the code. So, but I also use else, which means if type dot file is not, that means I'm not working with file, I'm working with text. So this block of code will run set from data. So which means all the text. I'm saying again. So this is the file. This is the file. Okay, that's why I handle here. If this file is not, if this file is not, that means I'm talking about this all the text. Right. So yes, set from data. Set from data. Right. So yeah. Also pass a parameter for pref. I also track all the previous data with help of split operator, and then name it, and I put it inside super bracket, and then type is equal to checkbox, then check as value. I use ternary operator. That means if it's true, then this section 1 is false, this section 1, right? Because I have other different things. Also there is a check, right? There is a check there, but actually if you don't want to use it, you can remove it, but I'm not going to remove it, this thing. And because you can add the maybe subscription things or other things, that's why I create my own real project. So yeah, that's why also I have two things, because I'm not only working with the only text, there you also checkbox, right? And then clear error for the field being edited. If you want to edit, then you can see the errors message, right? This is the handle change. Now this is the handle submit. That means you are submitting things, right? and you're using prevent default, which means before uploading, if you refresh, because so you will lose the user data track. That's why we're using prevent default. And then validation errors. So valid form. This one I call here. This one valid form I call here. Right? And then object keys. Valid error. Validation error is length greater than 0. Then work this. And then so please fix the error in the form. Which means if you not fill up all the requirement, first of all I can get toast, but still if you're doing it, then I also get another message, because some users are not caring, but so I can show you double things, right? If this error is true, this section is true, that means here is message, right? If it not, then this section work. I'm creating a new form data, which means I'm sending a form data from here to users API here, and then here to user sites, right? That's I'm creating form data instance, and then object.instance. So this is the code, because I'm using this. I'm passing form data. This form data is this form data. This form data. So yeah, and then for each. So I'm using a loop, so it's a for each key and value. So inside the document, like here's the document, so I can access both. So I can iterate, right? So it's very easy. So if you're not using this code, there is other way, but you have to work a lot of things. So it's very simple thing. Key value, and then yeah, and then it's work. If value is not equal to null, then run this code. Here I'm not using return because this code is one line. You can see this structure a lot in production. So then I append. If it's not null, that means there is a value inside the code, because which means user provide all the data. So then I append key and value. So I think in object we have key and value. So key and value, right? So we append inside this form data. Then we are trying what? As I told you, we are sending this data in user API, so we are dispatching. We are dispatching the sign up user, sign up data. The sign up users, which means this where I access user slice. Alright. User slice. And this sign up data means this sign up data. Alright? And then unwrap. It's a method to handle the action. And then I just get toast success, like account create successfully, and then navigate from this premium. So there is no premium, so I'm gonna create this. So yeah, I think so. Yeah, subscribe or login. So I'm not gonna use premium. So that means this navigate will redirect this login, right? So you can change it, but I'm not here changing, because I also maybe I add some code in the end. That's all. And there is a catch. Toasted error failed to create account. Yes, this is the main code, main logic. Now it's about UI. Now it's about UI. UI means, I think, if you understand this logic, so you can adjust the UI. Even now ChatGPT is out there, but I also mentioned, because I'm using motion frame, so it's a very like animation. So if you use motion, so you have to use motion depth. But if you don't use motion, so you can use only depth, right? So this is my container. That means inside I have to show you, and otherwise you can't get it. This is inside. This is the page. Then this is the main container. This is the main page. The inside. This is the div. Okay. So yeah, I'm using gradient color. So yeah, that's why fast heritage. So mean high screen. This is the mean high screen. Then background color is like this. Indigo 600. Then via sign 500 and like this. This is fat. And then another div. This is the main div and this is the second div. So I use this is the motion code, nothing else. This is the motion a code. So you can copy it. There is no explanation because I opacity is 0, y20, y20, duration 50. Duration means transition duration. Okay, and then class name is background white, padding 6. So I'm using here responsive. So which means I'm using small medium. So size medium, right? So which means if I'm opening up the browser, so padding, if I open phone, then padding will be 6. If I open browser, that means above small screen, the padding will be 8. And round is 2 pixel, shadow 12 pixel, maximum white with medium, and then with full. So this is the first main div in the class, and then this is the second text 3xl, then Australian text 3xl. But if the screen is above small, then the text will be 4xl. Font bold, text center, text indigo, and margin bottom 6. I'll show you. This is the text margin bottom. This is the margin bottom here. This is the top. This is the bottom. And the error. If there is error, so I'll show you next to the join us today, right? And then form. So this is the form. So I use same form structure multiple. That's why I create other things here. The component. I also import. I also provide props. So that's why I create one input. This is the input. This is the label. Type is text, error, and props. And this is the label, block, text same, font medium, text gray, 700, margin bottom 1. And and this is the input, type is type, so I can access from here. And then props, that means all the previous things I can track. And then class, so this is a dynamic string, epsilon, and white full, width full, padding 3, rounded, large border. Then I use this one. If error, then border this, otherwise this. And then also background gray 50, focus ring 2, then color is indigo, and text gray 90, placeholder gray, like this. So guys, you can access the code. Okay, I'm not explaining much more. The error is, if error, then this color will be this. This is the input code. So inside form, you can see full name. So this is the label, name, value, form data name, right? Then one change, handle change, placeholder John Doe, error.name, same things, username, value, one change, placeholder, then input, label type, name, value, one change, placeholder. password for same password. Then there is a gender. This is not same. I use select gender form dot gender on change handle change in class white full padding 3 rounded large and then border dynamic border, right? And yeah, an option inside select I use option like gender male female others. So here I mention value male female others and then error. If error is gender, then show this way. And I use other divs inside the main div. Then profile picture. The type is file, name is profile image, accept image only, one change handle change, and then class name. Margin top one, block width full, text it's a base text, and then text gray field. File name is uh, margin left 4, file is a padding 2, file padding 4, and then file round large, file border, right? So this, yeah. Why file? Because what? I'm just tracking this thing inside the file, and then I want to show preview. If preview exists, then show this code. This is a conditional, showing UI. If this is true, then show this UI. If this is not, then don't show anything. So yeah, that is the thing. Yeah, if preview is there, then class is margin top 4, flex justify center, and source preview, order profile image class width 24, 24 round full, object cover, and shadow median, and then checkbox for checkbox. UI is same, type, name, checked, one change, class, and then it also subscribe to premium. Okay, UI is same, and the form data is premium is true, then you will be redirected to complete payment after sign up. If you select the sign up form, then this message you can see under the this checkbox. Okay, and this button motion dot button. So these two things from motion like while hover, while tap, and then type is submit, disable loading. When you can see the loading, you cannot tab or submit. It's a class. I'll explain to you. Okay, it's the loading. So I use like SVG. You can use other things. Alright, and yeah, it's span. Loading is true, then you can see this code. And yeah, inside this sign up. If not, then you can only see sign up. It's the button, and this is the form is filled. Then after this, you can see class dev, margin top 6, text center, text small, and then already have an account like this. So I'm gonna run this code, okay? But if you run this code, we have to do a lot of things. Where is the code? So why I'm not showing the, because I already have UI, so you can see the UI. Okay, that's why I'm just explaining to you. All right. So I finish the sign up, but we have to create other folder of app because what? Sorry, guys. Inside source, I have to create called app folder. You can handle all the things inside this app.jx, but this project will be gonna very big, so that's why I create. It should make sense, but I just create here, and you even also paste this app inside here. It's your choice. So yeah, I will create I'm creating inside app route file, app route app routes.js. App routes. So, which means I have to create also what layout. Let me create here dot jx. Also, I have to create main layout. So I import these two things. Okay, from here. So this is my main, like all the routes I can handle here. So you can see this is the what route, and what route means if you want to add, let's say you don't want to allow any users do the you don't want to allow any user like login like admin page before login they cannot access the maybe dashboard page. But so let's say you want to create, you want to verify all the things on main layout. So maybe you don't want to show your main layout without login, right? Login user, but you can show them login users without their login, because first of all they want to show their sign up login page. That's a separate two things: what routes, what layouts, and main layout. This is the what layout. So login and sign up, it's a what layout. Okay, so I already created. This is the page dot let me make sure, page register users, then login. Right. So yes, it's the same thing, right? So yeah, and there is routes and route. This is the routes and route. So you can access here. Login, sign up, and this is the main layout. You also import from app. Right now, nothing else. So what layout? Well, this is the what layout. So outlet, it's a, so if you want to show the any children, so you have to use outlets. It's a a React component, right? It's a built-in React component. You have to use it. And this is the style. This is the main layout. This is the main layout. Let me show you before you can see my view. So this is the main layout. You can see this is the main layout, man. Right. So this is the main layout. You can see the page is right, and that's why I separate all the things. This is the main layout. This is the what layout, and there is a main layout. So what layouts means this is the main layout, and what layout means the login and login. Sorry, login and sign up. So that was the like uh, what layout. Now it's a main layout. Right. So yeah. So here is, you can see, here you can see this is the body. This is the body. So and this is the main area sit with margin exactly like your like. That means here I can adjust the UI, right? So yeah, so this is the what layout, this is the main layout. This main layout I'm talking about. This is the main layout. This is the main layout background. So I can adjust like this. Yeah, so let's see. And now I have to also link with app.js. So this is the trick I have to link. And so this is my app.js. Okay, so this is the main entry point. So all the things I integrate like app routes, right? So here it is. First I use dispatch and then browser route. That means all the route I can handle inside the browser routes. And then app routes is the main routes. Okay, so this is the app route. Inside app route, I handle path layout and main layout. But inside app.js, I handle app route. This is the main. And then toast container. So all the notification through toast you can see. We have to maintain main. And then toast container fetch current users. So store slice, user slice. And then I use dispatch and then here use effect. So that means I use here because you can see a lot of things on the front end, but if you use this dispatch, so you don't need to do all in page because this is the main page. And inside browser router I use app routes and then toast container. Now check the code because I think it gets a lot of. Okay, so back to the code. So there was some errors. The error was is very simple because as I told you, I'm not running my backend, so that is the first error. Okay, so now I'm running my backend code on and now I'm running my frontend code on 513673 and backend like 5004, right? So yeah, nothing else. And now I'm running my code, and if I look at my front end, so let's see front end, right? You can see if I this is a sign up page, and yeah, so and this is the app as I explained to you. This is the layout. This is the main. This is what layout. This is the main layout, right? And this is the my app, my entry point. So I explained to you all the things. Now it's time to check the code. So now this is the UI. This is the UI. You can see it's the same UI as I shown you. And now I'm creating my account. Let's say I let's say uh, the name. Let's say JC James James uh, James one. Let's say gmail.com and password and then mail and then I choose. Here you go, you can see. Now if I sign up, now you can see the account created successfully, right? So this is the toast. And now so there is no login page. Now I'm gonna create login page. The same, it's kind of same login page, right? So this is my code, same, nothing else. And yeah, it's similar to sign up page, but it's only I'm just extracting to like an email and password. You can see the UI is same. That's why I'm not going to explain to you anymore because I already explained sign up page, so it's take time. And yeah, now I have to just well, I'm not out, so I have to like import here. Login. Yeah, let's check. Good. Let's see. Yeah, here you go, man. Here you go. This is my login page. So if I log in, let's say in Jazz01, this is my other account. Okay, you can see just login, right? So yeah, so in this video, like I just set up the back end, the front end, and also what layout, including like sign up and login page. So guys, you already set up the project, okay? And this video is all about. But next video, I'm gonna create more codes because you already set up, and now just we want to explain all the things. So thank you so much watching.